So, if you are anything like the typical veterinary professional who's managing social media for their practice, you may be struggling to convey the value of social media to your practice manager, your practice owner, whoever it is you're reporting to. The good news is that I have a solution for you, and it may not be what you're expecting necessarily. But today I want to talk about how to set marketing goals for your practice. Now, I do highly encourage you to include your practice manager, practice owner, whoever the major decision maker is for your hospital, and include them in on this. But today I'm going to be sharing with you a framework called SMART goals and really how you can apply it to your veterinary hospital. And I use this framework to really help me develop a clear and distinct goal that I am really operating my social media posts and really any other marketing avenues towards, because it's going to help me to see exactly what I need to accomplish, what I need to do to help reach that goal. And in the end, it's going to give me those measurable results that I'm looking for and easily convey that and communicate that to my decision maker, whoever I am reporting this information to. So, one thing I will say is that if you are the support staff member who is creating content, managing social media for your hospital, this is going to be crucial for you to be able to say, hey, I'm posting everything on social media. We're getting great results. Isn't that great? Your practice owner and practice manager is not going to understand how posting pictures of cute puppies and kittens or sharing educational posts is directly impacting the bottom line of the practice. And so this framework is really going to help you to share how your efforts are making a big difference for the practice's bottom line. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing for social or on social media, is to get that business to the hospital, because it pours into so many different aspects of the hospital. And so I'm really hoping that at the end of this video, you'll see how you can connect your efforts to decipher what your practice owner is actually looking for and bring it together. So with that, I'm going to walk you through what the SMART goal framework is, just in case if you're not familiar with it, and really give you an example of how we can apply it. Now, I do have a workbook available for you below in the description, and it's a workbook that I created to help you to create your SMART goal for your hospital, and then break it down into a marketing plan that's really going to help you implement and apply what you've taken the moment to do with this goal and turn it into ways that you can actually bring it to life. Okay, so definitely check that out. It's free. Download it anytime. Use it again and again. And I really hope that the tool is helpful to you. But with that, let's start off with S. Now, S stands for specific. And this is where you're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of your goal. All right, so basically the question you're going to be answering is, what do you want to do? Okay, and so I'm going to go with the example of you want to increase flea and tick preventative sales. Okay, pretty straightforward, nothing fancy, right? Everybody wants to sell more of this, or, it has a product they want to sell more of in their clinic, right? So with that could be like, oh, okay, I'm going to choose this product or that product. You want to choose something that's very specific instead of saying, oh, I want to just boost all of our flea and tick sales and call it good. That's not going to help you get lasered in and get the results that you're looking for. That's just too broad, okay? What this framework does, it helps you to break that down to something very, very narrow and specific, so you can get lasered in and cut out all the noise of all the social media holidays and other things that aren't going to serve you in reaching this goal, all right? So we've got M in SMART, and that's measurable, okay? That's going to be the question, or the answer you're going to be answering is, how will you measure it? So with this is going to be a few different aspects to consider, right? So if you are doing adding multiple layers of things into this goal or this marketing plan that you're creating, there's going to be several aspects like social media, the website, any print material or printed marketing, any email marketing, any push notifications, if you're collaborating with other people. So you want to be sure you're gathering all of that information and be like, oh, okay, in this case, for the flea and tick preventative sales, you're going to want to be sure that you're including your practice management system so you can track all of the product that's sold, all of your inventory, right? You're also probably going to want to check to see how many appointments have increased, because, oftentimes pet pets need to come in for their annual exams and be sure that they're good to go with getting a heartworm or a particular flea and tick product, right? So that might be another aspect you want to consider. On the other side, for like social media, this is where you're going to want to see like, okay, maybe you want to be tracking link clicks or website visits, depending on the platform. That way you can see, okay, well, this post is actually perhaps not getting all the comments in the world, but it actually got a decent amount of link clicks or website visits from that post to our website. And then from there, you might be able to see like, oh, there's an uptick in our website traffic, right? And then logically, like there isn't a great way in VetMed as of today to be able to say, oh, this social media post generated this amount of sales. I so wish there was, but by just tracking all of those measurable numbers, then you're able to see and conclude like, oh, okay, well, that's a great way to measure it with what I have. So something to think about. So the A is attainable. So you're going to want to put a number to this goal, because if you just say, oh, I want to sell as many flea and tick preventative products as possible, that's not going to really help you to measure and to see how far you have come. It's like, oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, how much weight do you want to lose? You won't be able to say, okay, I started out this weight and now I'm this weight. And if you start to do that, you're like, oh, it's just like this never-ending loop of like, okay, I'm going to lose weight. I don't know how much weight I'm going to lose, and you start to lose your momentum, right? So with this, in my example, I decided to put 15 to 20% growth over the last year or compared to last year, okay? So far we want to sell 15 to 20 more percent of our flea and tick preventatives, and we're going to track that through our practice management system, social media, and our website. This is just an example, right? You can apply what's needed for you, what's not, but that's kind of what the example is so far. All right. So then we have R, it's relative. So what the question you're going to be answering is, does it actually help pets in the clinic, or does this actually benefit the practice overall? So this is a good way for you to check in with yourself, with your team, business goals, whatever, and being sure like, okay, is really selling more flea and tick preventatives the goal that we want? Is this going to be impacting our clinic in the way that we want it to, or is it going to distract us? So with this goal, I feel like this is good, but if you have a new service that you introduced a few months ago and it's not doing well, then I would say, well, maybe put a pause on the flea and tick preventatives and really focus on that new service instead. So just being sure that you're on track, you're in alignment with how it's going to impact the clinic overall. All right, so then the T is timely, and this is where you're going to put a deadline to it or a timeline so that you can be sure that you're measuring within that time frame. So for this example, I'm going to say in the summer, so from June to August, we're going to be focusing on selling flea and tick preventatives, and we're going to increase it by 15-20% compared to last summer. All right, so that gives us a good way to track how successful we are, if we exceeded it, if we fell short of it. It just gives you a good marker to see how well you're doing. And so with that, the completed goal now is that by the end of the summer, we are going to grow our sales for flea and tick preventatives by 15% compared to last year, and it's going to enable us to buy a new x-ray machine. Hey, this is Cheyanne, and as I was editing this video, I realized that I did not really dive in deeper on what the R was. In fact, I skipped it completely until this very moment, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to take a moment to explain what the R in the SMART goal framework is, and that's relative. And I started to talk about it here, but what that is for our goal is it's going to help us anchor to what is the real purpose behind our goal here. And this is going to help us to really see like, okay, is this going to be important for us to do for the hospital? Like, sure, if we want to go get, 10,000 followers, that's great. But if it's not going to help us generate business, then it's not going to be a fruitful endeavor for us to pursue, right? So with that, in this example I was just talking about, I'm talking about how reaching this goal of getting 15% more sales in flea and tick products could help us get a new x-ray machine, right? So if that's going to be relevant for your hospital, like if you guys need a new x-ray machine and the extra revenue from this promo from this goal is going to help you achieve that, then awesome. That is totally relevant and it's going to work for you. But on the other hand, if you are, for example, introducing a new service, maybe what the R in this framework is going to be for you is it's going to, by reaching, X amount of new services sold for this, then it's going to help us establish this new service, get it out there, and people are going to come back for the service again and again. So I just wanted to pause and mention that real quick, but back to the video. That's how it's going to be relative to our practice, just for an example. So from there, then you as the social media manager of your hospital knows like, oh, okay, I need to create a whole bunch of posts in the summertime to promote flea and tick sales, to educate people on it, to get people aware that we're selling this product, figuring out ways that to maybe perhaps touch on some pain points people have with flea and tick preventative. So like maybe a huge barrier is that they don't know how to administrate it. Then you can be like, okay, we're going to create a tutorial on it. We're going to do a demo for the clinic. Maybe if you come in today, we'll apply this for your pet for free, kind of a thing. You can get really, really creative with that and just break it down simply on how people can make it easier for them to actually be compliant with what you're asking them to do with flea and ticks and keep their pets happier and all the things, right? So with that, then once you have that goal into this nice sentence and packaged up well, then this is where you can really break it down into the marketing plan. And like I said, I've got a free workbook, which I'm looking at right now, that will help you to take that goal and break it down into a really robust marketing plan that encompasses way more than just social media. So highly encourage you again to take that or to download that workbook. It's really going to help you, and it helps you to really figure out like, okay, what do I help you? It helps you to brainstorm and figure out what you need to accomplish with this goal, right? Like maybe you need to create social media graphics, create all the videos, maybe write some blogs for this. Maybe send out a few emails to your current clients and making sure that they're up to date with everything. Maybe you need to put some stuff in the waiting room to promote your raffle that you're going to be hosting, whatever promotion you're going to be doing with this goal, right? Maybe you need to update your outdoor signage. Maybe there's some collaboration you can do with the local feed store, whatever that may be for you. This workbook's going to help you explore that. Then it's going to really help you to figure out, okay, how am I going to actually make this happen? You're going to create some tasks, write some to-dos, see who you need to bring in to help you with, and really put everything into action. Okay. And then you're going to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to communicate all of this to the clients? And there's a nice space for you to write that all out. It helps you to really figure out a timeline of how you're going to launch this. So say, it's May and you're like, okay, we want to be selling more flea and tick products by starting in June. Okay, we need at least, 2 weeks to get videos going. We need another week to get blogs going. We need to talk with our local feed store ASAP to get this rolling. Like it's going to really help you put some deadlines to these tasks and show you what your timeline really is. Because maybe at this point, maybe a month, we'll say it's May, maybe you don't have enough time to actually put everything together. So maybe you may need to shift it and say, okay, well, maybe we'll make this a winter promo instead, so we have some extra time to get everything in place. So it really just helps you to think critically about everything that comes into play here. And then also it asks you to figure out what results you need to track. So like maybe if you are the support staff member who is helping with social media and you don't have access to the analytics or the back end for reports, this would be a great time for you to either ask for permission or ask your practice manager to download reports for you so you could easily track everything and put everything together. Make sure it works for your situation. But also, one of my favorite things about this workbook is that there's a spot for you to celebrate and figure out, okay, what will we do if we reach this goal or when we reach this goal, right? And so this is when you can figure out and talk with your practice manager, decision maker, and be like, okay, what do we do once we actually hit this goal? Maybe it's a pizza party. Maybe you guys get to go do a paint and sip for the whole team. Like, This is just a place for you to brainstorm and think of everything. But if you need help, like once you've created your marketing plan or you're struggling to figure out like how to plug it in all together, I invite you to come join us in Vet Social Hub, because you will get so much support there, not just from me, but from other members. I also will provide you with the Canva templates, the caption templates to help you implement all of these social media posts. You're going to get training on what is going on in social media, the latest of everything, and figuring out how it's going to apply to you as the veterinary professional. And there is a ton of other resources in there that just really helps you to be successful in your role. So I would be happy to come alongside you and support you, help you figure out how to implement all this. There's just so many great resources in there to make your job easier, and I would love to be able to bless you with that resource. So if that sounds like something you want to learn more about, again, head down to the description and it will be right there waiting for you. But in the meantime, I'm so happy that you were able to join us. And if you have questions about anything, feel free to drop them in the comments. But if you are wanting to learn how to create a content calendar and really organize your posts better, this video is going to be helpful to you, because it walks you through on how I create a content calendar, helps you streamline your thought processes, and really just get organized so that you can stay more consistent. All right, I'll let you go, but I hope you have a blessed week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.